Good afternoon, my friends. It is 3:30. I have a little bit of time to maybe shoot you guys a video. Surgery on my eye went well. Gonna go on Monday and go to pre-op for this one. And then by the end of the month, we're going to do that one. And then I'll be able to see. I actually see pretty well out of one eye. It's pretty amazing. Anyway, thanks to the new subscriber. Maybe rounded me off at 50. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Click that subscribe, the bell, do the like, do all that stuff. Anyway, today is a very important day, I suppose. Seismically, there have been about 50 earthquakes in this town called Lucien, Oklahoma. Now, I don't know exactly how close that is to the New Madrid, but it's on it. But anyway, it's about 50 of those earthquakes, and there was a 4.2 there. And then the people that lived near there said they kept hearing this mysterious humming. And we don't know exactly. We don't know if that's our mysterious buddy, HAARP, HARP, that comes from Alaska. I'm going to tell you this. Back when I was big on earthquakes and did a lot of, and I could never predict an earthquake of where the earthquake was going to be. But I could go on the Soho NASA Theater, look for solar flares, and I could call solar flare earthquakes in the Ring of Fire almost every single time within like 2 or 3 days. I tell you, 2 or 3 days, there'll be a 6.0 or higher. Boom, there would be. I kind of quit doing that. Well, anyway, so there was a 4.2 there earlier today or yesterday. That's relatively large for that area. And then I went back and looked at some videos about the New Madrid and the stories they talk about the New Madrid. And that if it was to pop and pop really big like it did about 100 years ago, the Mississippi River would run backwards. The United States would get a crack in it almost the whole way from top to bottom. And there would be a lot of bad things. So I was kind of cruising around the earthquake page because I don't do that as often as I used to. And turned out today there was a, not huge, a 2.4, which is small in terms. But where was it? Yellowstone. Wow, isn't that funny? And a few months ago, there was a big earthquake in Stanley, Idaho. And it's kind of funny because it's near Utah, but it's in Idaho. And it's not that close to Yellowstone, but it's close enough. And the people that lived there were like, oh, shit. Well, ever since all this weird stuff's begun, like before the pandemic and all this and everything else, I've always been worried about Yellowstone. And anytime I see an earthquake there, I don't care if it's a 1.9. When I see, and they go, and Michio Kaku said that that's an active volcano, that it should go off because it's overdue by a long while. So it's supposed to go off. We don't know when. So we're going to go back into my whole original, the way I ran my old channel, and what we're supposed to look for. Bob Fletcher, as I said, is a very hard guy to find here on YouTube now. You can find him. He was on a radio show called Caravan to Midnight. He was on, I think he was on, well, some other show. And yeah, he was on Alex Jones, for all of you, whether you hate him or love him, he was on that show. But the things he talked about have all occurred. And he talked about a pandemic, fake or real, that would create all this stuff, and then there would have martial law, and then it would go on down the line. And every time they start picking things up, it goes right back. I'm not really so secure that, oh, this is almost all over, and this is going to happen, and I don't know. I really don't know. But what he said seems to be all falling in place. So my old thing of telling you food, water, supplies, enough to get you by for about 3 to 4 weeks is still there. I haven't done a video in a while because I've been waiting for a topic. Topic is earthquakes. I lived here when the 7 point whatever it was hit us. I was here. I remember that day. It's kind of funny, you know. It just seems like things keep going on and on and on, and then something else happens, and pretty soon Now, John Moore, a guy that I actually am friends with on Facebook, he doesn't really like a lot of things that I post, but we are friends. And I'm a friend with Marshall Masters, and I was a friend of Gil Broussard's, but this guy's gotten so private that you can't even hardly do anything with him. But anyway, the story is that they told a lot of high-up military personnel that when they retired to get away from coastlines. So for me, that's going to be a big thing. You know what I mean? All I want to say is, that's going to be a big day when it all occurs. I got a message and I kind of lost my track. But anyway, so the new Madrid is popping off, okay? And it's not really huge yet. And we don't know. We don't know whether there's a big giant mass out there slowing down the planet, making it go, "Arr!" And then you're hearing all these sounds, or whether it's HAARP, high something auroral whatever, shooting down, creating an earthquake. I'll tell you this. Anytime there's some really huge earthquake in America, I go look at the quakes, and there's always an earthquake in Alaska that precedes or is after. Kind of near that place where they have it. So, I don't know. It's hard to say. But there's a lot of things coming, and everybody's minds are so far away from everything that they're not paying attention to anything. And fairly eventually, something's going to happen. Yes, a 2.4 earthquake is small, but it's still Yellowstone. A 2.4 could lead to a 3 point something, to a 4 point something, to something, and then uh-oh. And there was a 7.0 there a couple of years ago, something like that, but it didn't trigger anything, but it happened. Something's happening, and you don't think these guys are ever going to tell you. Well, once again, I'm going to go into this really quickly, and then I'll end it. Fletcher said that by the time you could go out and see this thing as a red dot in the sky, like little, it'd probably be too late. Predictors have said that somewhere near the end of this month or somewhere in the next month, if they don't really see signs of that little thing out there, it's not little, but be able to see it. I mean, they see it with a telescope, but see it, like you just out there look. That's probably a ways far away still. So it's either now or, again, they'll pass it off and it'll be longer. Then less belief and whatever. But anyway, I just wanted to go into this and tell you that, there's been a lot of earthquakes going on over the last couple of days. Oh, it was going to be 2 weeks, 6 weeks of harsh winter, and we've had 70-degree weather here. Well, Phil, you're wrong again. Groundhog. I don't trust a rodent to tell me what the weather is. So, this video really was about that. It's about earthquakes. They was on the news. Excuse me. And all these people that lived out there in that part of Arizona. Well, that was Oklahoma. But in Arizona, they had some earthquakes. And they were talking about these strange sounds and all this stuff, whatever, but then over there too. So there's a lot of things that are happening right now. I just keep myself ready at all times. At the drop of a hat, be ready. Well, my friends, I guess that's about all I got to say, but keep your eyes on the open because there are things starting to happen. I know 2.4 in Yellowstone was small, but that's still something to be thinking about. Peace, and I'll be seeing you.